Good evening, everybody. It's the Mates FC podcast here. My name is Dave Chase, and tonight we are joined by our welfare officer, Mr. Andy Tallis.
Hello, I am Andy. I'm the welfare officer at Mates FC, as well as one of the coaches at Mates FC and Football Fitness Club. Thursday nights, Chelmer Park, 8 o'clock. Be there.
Out of 10, how fair do you think you are?
I think I'm a good 9.
Fair enough. Okay, Captain Dan. We have Captain Danny here.
Evening, everybody. I am Danny Warner. I'm an ambassador for Mates, and I'm also team captain for Mates FC. Good evening.
Danny's dressed for going out, and he's sitting sideways on a couch, which is quite slutty. Go as far as saying. Then we've got a slightly tanned boy here. Who we got here?
Good evening, Simon Green, one of the ambassadors for Mates FC and coaches.
Simon Brown, I'd say.
Well,
where have you got this tan from?
That's from Friday. I thought it was just, I don't know, Friday and Saturday, I suppose. Sitting out.
It's not Thursday. That was night time.
Yeah, I've no idea. I worked from home, don't I, a little bit, so maybe sitting in the garden on Friday has done me. But I've burnt my lips as well. But then I didn't even think it was that hot. It didn't feel hot, did it? But I've just
genuinely look like you've been on holiday.
Well, I haven't. So yeah.
Well, I haven't. All right. Just a little bit of an introduction to what Mates FC is. Mates FC is a slightly different football club to other football clubs. We are all about improving your positive mental health and getting people back into the swing of it and getting back out on that pitch when mental health issues like anxiety or depression or grief may have stopped your previous career in football or enjoyment in football. It might have sapped your enjoyment, might have sapped your joy in playing and made it feel a bit of a chore. We want to put the fun back in football. We want you to get back out on that pitch. We want no commitment out of anybody. We just want you to get back out there when the time's right for you. So we put the weekly games up as events on our Facebook page. You click on that on any dates that are suitable for you, and on that week, if you fancy it and if you feel like you're still up for it, come along. And if you don't, there's no problem. You don't have to turn up, and we just want it. We want you there when it's the right time for you, and we want to do all we can to get you back out there and happy and enjoying it. So, what have we got coming up tonight, Mr. Tallis?
Right, so on tonight's show, we've got Mates versus Charitable SC at the weekend. We had a match at the weekend, and we came out victorious, winning the game 4-3. So we'll be doing a little bit of a review about that and how it's been getting together again and playing. Then we'll do a reintroduction of fans at Wembley. So those of you who watched the Cup game, unfortunate for Tottenham, there were fans actually at the ground again. So we'll cover that off. And then the biggest personal influence in the game. So we'll be asking you to post up who was an influence to you in football. And that could be a manager that you've had or other players that you've played with. So people that you actually have almost grown up playing football with and anyone who was a real influence. Then we'll do Pierce's goal. So the best goals from the weekend. I can think of a couple and we'll post them up. And then we'll talk about the upcoming match this week versus Football Fitness. So I think that's really going to be a good in-house competition. And then Dave will close the show. We've got a few people who have said good evening. So Matt Dyer said good evening, everyone. Good evening, Matt. We've got Dan Ball. Good evening. Hope you're okay, Dan. Kieran Do as well. Hi, Kieran. And then Matt Smith. Evening, Tallis. I've got nothing. Well, you did. You got one goal against Southend when we got 2. Well, that's a lie because we're still going down. That may be true, but we still got a good result of the weekend, so it makes me happy.
Do you want to say who we are?
Okay.
Because
what's that? Sorry?
Would you like to explain who we are as opposed to Mates FC? Southend.
Southend United.
Southend, yes, sorry, Southend.
Yeah, I don't want to tar us with that brush. Right, so yeah, so anyone that watched the game at Wembley at the weekend, now, have we got really used to having the fake crowd noises? You know, obviously, without any crowd noises, yes, it's really different. What did you notice by having real noise back in, you know, real people, real noise back in that stadium?
Listening to annoying fans again.
It's a funny old place, that one, because like I've been there. I don't know what I was watching. It was Swindon. It was some sort of cup final, and it was a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago. And you know, the place was absolutely full. We was in the Swindon side, and
You in the side? You play?
no, I was playing. Yeah.
I didn't realise Swindon was so bad. I thought they
So
were
big
right.
time.
Yeah, I know we lost. But no, I was in the sitting with the Swindon fans, and both of them were furious. But no, we was sitting in there. No one was making any noise whatsoever. And being in Wembley, looking at across the other side, hearing the roar coming from the other side, and actually being in a side where no one's making any noise, it was like, why is no one making any noise? The 8,000 that were there this week, obviously they've done something, you know, they've tweaked something with the sound to give it a bit more oomph than is actually there, and it might just be having it a bit louder, whatever. But I thought that really felt like a proper atmosphere again, even with only 8,000 people there. You know, they've done more with this, with the shots of the crowd. They've done a bit more of that to sort of really reiterate that the crowd is back. But with only 8,000 people, what are we saying for Wembley? Is that, what's that, 70,000
Yeah,
seated?
if not more.
Nine.
I thought
90,000, something like that.
Yeah. So, you know, when you've been to Wembley as well, you've got the 6 tiers in total, haven't you? But 2 of them are boxes, so they're not real tiers. But when you're up in that top part, you know, it's huge. It's massive up there. So just having them spread out on one side like they did, and only having 8,000, I think that's a bloody good atmosphere for what they had there. What are you showing us?
Oh, I can't see it. 90,000.
Lovely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
8,000 people though is still, you know, I suppose with the acoustics of the stadium as well, it's still, you know, it's still more than you get at some of the sort of League One grounds, you know, week in, week out. You know, like, so it's still quite a good crowd, isn't it? And I think just to have any real noise, because what you've got to remember as well is those players, although we watch it at home and we've got the fake noise, they've got nothing. It is just like a training game. Where
I've been to a
even just
game
having
before
8,000
where the person I was with was like, when are they going to start doing the commentary? And I said, what do you mean? And they went, when are they going to put the speakers on and start doing the commentary? It's like, of what? And they're like, the game. I was like, no, we're there. We're watching it. We don't have a commentary. That's just on TV. And, you know, for me to be in the position of not the most stupid person in a football stadium, I was quite pleased with that and quite pleased with my knowledge. Then I was sitting there like, should they be making a noise? Should something be happening?
It'd be interesting to see if the players feel more pressure having those, even though it's like 8,000 fans. You know, do you think it put pressure on those players?
Well, we say 8,000 fans as well, but it wasn't. It was 8,000 people as well.
Right.
So it's 8,000 people. I think it was a split of 4,000 from the local community and 4,000 from the NHS.
Right.
So actually, what you've even got there, out of that, there's going to be fans supporting
Manchester,
both of those teams, but you know, they're actually not the true fans either. So with that in mind as well, it's another dynamic, isn't it? We've got some noise there. We've got people that maybe traditionally don't watch football, maybe they do. And we did say a few weeks ago when we was talking about trolling and bullying, what that does to you, and racism, what that does to you in that stadium. So now we've got people back. What's just
exactly.
you look at the other
Green's
screen.
advertising Adidas, I think.
Yes, so Si's taking bungs to advertise. If you want any fat advertised, he has been advertising the Fat Sheesh in Gallywood recently, but tonight it appears to be at Adidas. But yeah, we said before that actually for trolling and pressure, if people aren't there, you haven't got that pressure on you. But equally, you don't get the positives out of having those people and that crowd cheering and roaring and that support there. So actually, this return match at the weekend is probably a good positive one, isn't it? In that everyone's going to be buzzing because there's a real crowd there again. And it's not a crowd that are out to slag the other team or any particular team off. I think Si's rolled off of his couch. I imagine you know that Madonna video where she's got the she does that ABBA cover and she's wearing a leotard and rolling around a gym with her legs behind her head. I can only imagine that's exactly what Si's doing at the moment. Yeah, so the return to football, I'm the COVID officer for us, and as you can imagine, when we come back last year, you've got the Football Association have to do a paper to the government to say how they're going to put restrictions in place that are going to make things safe before the government allow the return to football. So they do that. Local FA then adopt that and then may have their own variations that they add into that. And then every ground that we use will also have their own set of COVID rules because it's not one set fits all. So, for example, the FA regulations say that they want people to turn up in the kit and go home in the kit and wash their own kit. The way we work, we've got a different team every week. Different people wear that kit every week. So we need to add something else in. So I take everything home and I sanitize it with sanitizer. So because someone else is going to be wearing that kit. So we make a change to what those rules are, but we explain why we do it and we put the risk assessment out there. We've got a lot in place with the return to Football Fitness Club last year and now, with the amount of people we have there, how we adjust drills when we're only allowed 6 people at a time, and we have non-contact, and how we gradually adapt. So we keep changing, but what's been good is we've always had the ability to have more restrictions in place if we need to, and more things in place if we need to. So, for example, we could ask that they, so we can also ask that people wear masks when they're not playing or when they're pitch side, or we could do this. We do the scanning, for example, of the temperatures at the matches. We do that in the car park before people even mingle next to the pitch. But we've always got more things up our sleeves that we can do. Sorry about just keep going on. But one of the things that they're doing now and how they've done that return to football in that test at the weekend was, if anyone's got kids, bear with me. If anyone's got kids, you'll recognise these kits.
The rapid
probably. So when the kids went back to school, parents and households were asked to, parents were asked to do tests 2 or 3 times a week, I believe, if that's correct. Just so while your kids are mingling with other people, the kids can bring COVID home, and you can just do tests to find out if you've got it and nip it in the bud quite quickly. So as you see at Wembley, how people were sitting, they were sitting in their households, which is why you had some groups of people and some on their own. They're sitting in the households, and all of them had to do these COVID self-tests beforehand, and then they've done them afterwards as well. So all of them had a clear result from this the day before, and that's why that's the angle they're going down at the moment. Some countries, they've said as well, Greece have said that they're lifting their restrictions in the next couple of weeks, and part of that is that every member of, or everyone that lives in Greece has to do 2 or 3 of these a week, these tests, to keep on top of it. So now, as an individual, you can go and get these from .gov.uk. We can go into chemists and pick them up in there. There's a pack of 7 for an individual, or every single day you can get a pack of 7 for your household, and you can order those online every day, or go and pick them up from the chemist. But just if for any reason, the reason I'm going on about this is because for some people, the return to football is something that they're still worried about COVID and spreading. And absolutely, we don't want to put you in a position where you are at risk. And yes, of course, you are at more risk going out and doing stuff than you are sitting at home and not doing stuff. But we have absolutely got the best that we could have in place at the moment. And moving forward, this track and trace, this self home test kits, they're a great idea. You can do those the day before or the night before. You can do them the day after if you're worried about mingling with multiple people. The adverts for them, they show them doing it before you go out down the pub on a Saturday night. They're there. They're free. There's plenty of them out there. And looking at how they're doing this return to football at the moment, it looks like this is absolutely something that they're going to be doing. And if you're expecting to get back into a stadium, then you need to expect and get used to doing that. And it's no hassle. What do you two think of how have you found the tests?
I just yeah, they're fine. I mean, they're quite easy to do. They're instant, which is good. So if you've got any doubt, like you can just quickly do it and test it out. And the worst bit about it is the bit up, like people say about the bit up the nose, but actually I don't like the tonsil bit. That does me. But
yeah, I found, like, bearing in mind sticking things up my nose. You know, when you get people that put balloons up the nose and things like that and pull it down the other side, I don't know how people know they can do that. You know, it's one of those weird things. And to me, it just felt alien. Like, it didn't hurt. It just felt alien putting something more than a centimetre up my nose, like more than I can get my finger up my nose, to put the thing up there. But you're doing it yourself. You're not jabbing it in your brain or anything like that. And then your throat. I think it's because I'm just greedy. But looking in a mirror, I watch my hand gesture as I do this. Looking in a mirror and trying to get it above my tongue to my tonsils, my tongue just kept trying to eat the cotton bud. I'm looking at it thinking it's got to go in and it's got to touch the back of my throat.
I've eaten 3 of them, don't worry, they're all right.
But yeah, well, I suppose if you eat it and just get it out the other side, it's got the sample on it, hasn't it?
It's really easy, it's really instant, and it's pretty good, I think, just to sort of make sure that you're safe, the family's safe and stuff. So.
And that's you get the answer within 30 minutes, although it comes through pretty much instantly. But they say wait 30 minutes just in case anything crops up on there at all, so it's fully developed. But yeah, I would just say that it's definitely the angle they're going to go down, because that's what all these trials are about, and they're free. Why not just get some, play around with it, and get used to them a little bit, really?
Well, me and Si can go and get our jabs now. So we can apply and go and find somewhere local and get our jab. Oh, and you as well, Dave. You just look too young, but yeah, we can go and get our jabs now.
I tried early. I tried to book mine earlier, and the closest now, I think people were saying Basildon. I think the closest need Dagenham now.
Yeah. So this morning, when they announced it, there was none for Chelmsford on there. The nearest I could get was Basildon. Basildon, Rayleigh and Grays. So I went for Grays, and then I looked on there a little bit later, and all of the local ones had gone as well.
Yeah, I went to get Rayleigh and then it crashed, and then I went back in and it gone. So they're going really quickly.
Did you do that today? Was that today?
Yeah. So yesterday they announced 44 and over, and this morning, I've done it about 6 o'clock this morning. They announced over 42 can go on there. Yeah, or down to 42. But yeah, then I got my second one by mid-July, so quite quickly as well, and I got that in Chelmsford. But
that's 80
yeah,
days, not waste.
I've got both mine. I've got one Sunday, one mid-July, and they're both in Towngate in Basildon.
Right.
Can I see a pantomime while you're there?
Yep.
So have you booked
I'm
yours
going to wait
in?
until it's Chelmsford available.
Dan, have you booked yours in, did you say?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon and mid-July, 18th of July, I think.
Yeah, I'm going back on again because I think they re-release stuff every day. So now it'll be Sunday, Monday. So I'm going to go on tomorrow and try and get Rayleigh for Sunday.
Yeah, I've got tomorrow and the 14th of July.
Where are they in Chelmsford then? I know the race courses.
Racecourse. And then your local
Danbury.
So that's where you can go and book yourself, or your local doctors can also get in contact with you as well. So, for example, my one is run by the one in Danbury, so you can go to Danbury and have it done.
Yeah, I phoned mine today and they went, no, you've got to wait. Either go and do that one or wait until we contact you. So Matt Smith
And just to note on that as well, because
Matt Smith had
what
his
seems
on a racehorse on Sunday.
What the other thing about that, just to reiterate as well, not being a doom monger, but I think people are getting a little too excited about the vaccines. But what you've had with kids, as in the kids, you remember what we had before Christmas? Yes, the kids don't tend to get it, but they carry it. Yeah. So that's the position we're in once we've had the vaccine. So we're still able to carry it and spread it to other people, slightly less. But yeah, that's just sitting side saddle. Yeah, so we can still pick it up and we can still pass it on to other people. So if you think about our team, how many people are like under 30 in our team, right? They're not likely to get their first jab till about June, July. We can still spread to the younger people, even though we've had our injections. So it's not going to go away. These tests are still going to be something we're going to have to be doing. It just means we're personally a little bit more protected, about up to 90%. Anyway, any other questions or comments about COVID in football? Fire them in. And if not, let's talk about something more interesting. But you know, we
I'm a bit worried. Going back to the car, I'm a little bit worried. So many people have been rough for days. That's what I don't really want to be feeling rough as hell for days.
Yeah, so many. There have been a lot we've heard of, but it's the same with anything. If you don't hear people compliment food very often. You hear people complain about places, and for all of those that we've heard that have had, felt a bit rough, we haven't heard loads of people going, oh, it's the best thing in the world, just going in there and having an injection. And because it's not like an exciting thing, is it? It's not like you're not getting a buzz off of having this injection, you're just having an injection. But flu jab's the same. It's always been the same. You know that with a flu jab, you know that you're going to get a dead arm, and you know that you're going to feel a bit fluey for a couple of days, maybe. And that's it, really. It is what it is, and everyone's different. But it's still going to be better than having it, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Right, and it's the same with the vaccine. I'm sure they said when they're talking about the blood clots. I sound like I was in a gang then. When they're talking about the blood clots, well, it's less than 1%. If you get COVID, it's 16%, and if you smoke, it's 30% chance of getting blood clots. So it's nothing.
I've had COVID. So what am my percentage of getting blood clots higher?
Your percentage? No, when you had COVID, rather than the injection, when you had COVID, you had a 16% chance of having a blood clot. Okay, so let's put it this way: if I haven't had COVID and I haven't had an injection, if I chose to have the injection, I would. There's less than a 1% risk of having a blood clot. if I chose not to have the vaccine because of that, I then put myself at the risk of, if I got COVID, I've got a 16% chance of getting a blood clot. Yeah. So I've chosen not to have a 1% chance, and I've put myself at risk of 16. And if I smoke, I'd be at a 38. I think that's a 38% chance of having a blood clot. So it's just something to, just one of those things.
Anyway. Yeah, we're not like politicians.
So the game this weekend, we had a really good game, really good turnout. We had against Charitable FC. They were a great bunch of lads as well. They came all the way from Kent.
Came up from Kent, and I really appreciate that at the moment, where we can't offer changing rooms or anything like that, but we've still got teams coming from Kent and places like that to make that effort because they just want to play football still.
Yep.
Talk.
I agree.
It was a really good game. It was really competitive. I think what was good, funny enough, Liam's just come on to say, evening boys. Rich Murphy's watching as well, and Pierce Lindo, evening lads. So, but yeah, Liam, I think it was great timing. You've just come on, Liam, because I think you were outstanding on Saturday, and even you got your goal as a reward. And I think it's really great to see players like Liam who have come along, sort of not known loads of people, come along, got really involved, got better and better each week, and now, like I say, he scored on Saturday and actually had a great game. So well done, Liam, and hopefully you enjoyed it.
I'm really noticing them all looking more comfortable together. And as you say, not knowing other people, Liam didn't know other people. Most of them didn't know each other. We've only had probably about 13 games now, and that hasn't been the same people every time. But you wouldn't know that people don't know each other because everyone's been so nice, so friendly, so kind, and supportive of each other. And I think that's really shown on the pitch.
Yeah, I think people are starting to learn where their positions are and starting to play. Starting to move the ball around nicely, like by knowing where everyone is. And James did an excellent job in goal and was quite brave on a couple of saves. And I think it really showed. You see the boys that have played week in, week out, sort of thing, and like you say, they're starting to gel together and look like a team. That's what I can say now, is they're starting to look like a team, where when we first started, it just looked like 11 individuals playing football, but now
it looked like what it should look like with what we're doing, if that makes sense. We know we're not here whipping people to be a team. We're here to give people an opportunity to get out on the pitch and kick a ball around. We don't care about winning. We don't care about the score. We don't care about anything like that. It sounds like a cliche, but our goal is to get you back out on that pitch, basically. And what has happened, especially since the return a couple of weeks ago, is we've naturally seen those people bond together, and we've seen them playing as a team because we've took that pressure out. We haven't made them or forced them to play in any particular position or anything like that. They've just naturally worked together, and that is something I wasn't expecting, and it's something that has been brilliant. I think the last few weeks, and it's nice and consistent now. That's 3 out of the 4 games.
Yeah.
Because we've had an in-house little knockabout, but so 3 out of the 4 games since we've been back, they've just got better and better, and it's been calm, working together, and just not nice is such a horrible word, but you know what I mean. It's just nice to watch.
I think there's I think it's sort of, it's just like even there's like a couple of the players over there, and a couple were sort of came up to us at the start and were like, we're carrying a bit of an injury and I don't know how long I'm going to last, but I want to go out and I want to play. And what was great was they sort of went on, had their football, and then they looked across and was like, right, that's it. I'm done for today. But they just were on for as long as they needed to be on, just to get that football, get out there, be involved in the day, but not enough to aggravate their injury more, or just to try how their injury's going along, and they could come off again. And there's no pressure to be on the pitch. And
that's the thing. On the subject of that, by taking that pressure away, people don't have that feeling of, oh God, I've got to keep going out there because I'm going to let everyone down if I can't go out there for 10 minutes. You know, my knee's buggered. I can't come off. I've only just come on it, because that's the normal football world, isn't it? But actually, now that they know, no, if I go out there and I last 10 minutes, I last 10 minutes. If I go out there and I last the whole game, I last the whole game. And you'll do what your body wants to do and can do, and we'll adapt around that. It's no problem. That's what it's all about. And taking that pressure off, it has helped those people with injuries get back out there, definitely. Got a couple of comments there. Richard Murphy, captain or manager, sorry. Some great performances of the weekend. Chris Bignell, the last few weeks have been brilliant. Reece as well. You know, he's been playing consistently before Christmas as well, but definitely two out of the last 3 games, he's really shone. You know, you can really see since he's come back, he's really stood out. Liam, absolutely. And then after 70 minutes, a centre-back asked me to send Danny Warner off as he couldn't chase him any longer. Captain Dan. What do we make of that?
I can say what I was going to say now, Si. I was just going to make 2 points, right? First one, touching on what you were saying about Liam. I don't want to miss anyone out here. So Liam, Kieran as well. Kieran on Saturday played, to me personally, played 2 unbelievable balls that like a professional would knock from like the halfway line. Pinged one straight to my foot, and then the second one straight onto my head. And he played really well as well. He actually played well last week as well, but he didn't play as long as he did this week. Liam again, brilliant finish as well. One of the things I was going to say, I noticed or have noticed, players like Kieran, players like Liam, Billy played the week before, Dean as well the week before. They've got less fear. They're more confident on the ball when they get the ball, whereas before they might panic a little bit and release it too quickly or not look up. They just got a bit more time with the ball and they look a bit more confident on it. And you can see
they know they've got the support there of the team, and it's not greed. Yeah. It's not the greed that everyone wants to just get out there and show off. It's
not at all.
Everyone's there to just play football.
Not at all. And the other point was about the opposition. So apart from the fact that they were all cracking lads, again, like every team we play against seemed to be really good lads. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're competitive. They like going in on the tackles, which is fine. We do the same. But there's no hostility there. Everyone has a little chat with each other. And the opposition Saturday were a really good side. So they were a lot, no disrespect to the other teams we played, but they were a lot better than the teams technically on the ball. Fitness, all right, fitness wasn't great towards the end, but they were a lot more technically good on the ball. And I thought, first 5 minutes, I thought we were really in a game here, but we sort of came into our own, and I think we went 2-0 up, I think. I can't remember. But
as you say, fitness, they weren't the fittest team, but nor are we. Because, we've been in lockdown. We've got people from all walks of life in this that aren't athletes, aren't sportsmen, aren't anything like that. And we aren't a fit team. You are. Yeah, you're ridiculous what you can do in the way of marathons and things like that. But as a team, each individual is not a particularly fit person. I don't mean that rudely. But yeah, that was a tough match this week, and it was an equal. It kept going. It was challenging all the way through.
I think what my point is because they were a decent opposition, it just shows how much the team has come on. And I know it isn't about us winning, and I know some of us, like me and Si, are used to being ultra competitive and having to win. And I'll be honest, there is an element of that on the pitch. You do still want to win, but I know at the back of my mind, I know what the reason is that I'm there. It's not about winning; it is about getting these people on the pitch and helping them. And
No,
but that was my point. Was just they were a good opposition, and it just goes to show these people that maybe sort of 2 months ago who weren't as confident as getting on the ball. They maybe wouldn't want the ball to come to them that much. They might shy away a little bit. Everyone on Saturday wanted the ball. Everyone was making themselves available and were just calm on the ball. It's really pleasing to see on the pitch. It must be amazing to see on the side of the pitch.
I'm
Do you know
normally
what
just
I
doing
like?
litter collections and playing with children. But sorry to spat in there. So what I would just say off the back of what Danny just said is about the competitiveness there of Si and Danny. Well, no, you've got two. That's why you're the captain. You know, you are pushing. You're the dynamo. You're keeping people ticking over. You're keeping that team together. You're pushing it along.
I thought it's because I had the best hair.
We don't really talk about but no. What I mean is, you know,
he said he had to come off because the hair was keep going in his face.
No, but you're a dynamo there. That you're the not professional. You know what I mean? You're the experienced one there. You're holding it all together, and that team is working around with you. Yeah, you're guiding them. You're pointing them. Si, we definitely saw a difference the other week when, obviously, he wasn't even supposed to be playing, but when he went on there, I think that was the Melbourne game, and things calmed down. Like, not calmed down as in we can't be bothered because Si's here now.
That's what you mean, Dave.
Yeah, Si took control just by being there. He took control. He brought the speed of the thing down. It wasn't hectic. It wasn't, and everyone got to do like a conductor. You two have been like conductors to a band, you know, like to musicians. You don't necessarily see that you're doing it.
I think the last few games it's all been about the coaching. I think that's what it is.
Do you know what I quite like as well, son? I think
Piers made a little dig, so I was just getting that back in there.
But it's when the players that, like Martin, come over, didn't he, on Sunday? And we're even getting the players that can't play for any way, shape, or for any reason, are still coming over and supporting and watching, which I think is really, really good. That's what I quite, and that's where you get the gel from a decent team when you've got that gel.
You still want to be part of the team. That's a
really good point.
And I've had Dean contact me this week, Dean G, about where he's fallen into the trap that you lot have fallen into with the kids of where he was reffing at his kids' football the other day. They've now got him as like assistant manager to help out, and he's now so since then in that small time in a week, he's now doing his level 1 coaching and wanting to do some other bits and bobs like that. So he wants to learn a bit more, and he's asked, can he get a bit more involved with us to learn from you lot, to learn from your experiences. And, that's what we're here for. We want Kieran's a great example of that. We've got Kieran working his way up through the ranks and learning from you lot about coaching and management. We've got Liam come on as an ambassador to learn more about the mental health side of it and getting the team together. And we're nurturing people through this. And this is one of the reasons with the Sunday League team that we're trying to put together at the moment. Anyone can turn up to Mates FC training, and it's fitness with a ball at your feet and a little bit of a kickabout, right? So anyone can do that, whether they've never played football before. Anyone is welcome, if they've never played football before, to come and play in a full game. They're welcome to do that. As and when restrictions allow, we'll have a few more five-a-side type tournaments, and that's going to be brilliant for those that haven't had as much experience on the pitch at all. So we've got all that in-house. What we've found is that, especially with people with injuries, overcoming that hurdle of getting back on the pitch, where you can't just go and turn up to a normal club and not know whether you're going to be fit enough to play or not. But you can with us, and testing the water with us and getting your confidence back. We've said this week in, week out. We've had people that haven't played football for 12 years have come and had a kick about, and they've got the buzz back like that. And just getting that first one under there, getting out there, it's like test driving a car or something like that, an old car or something like that. Once you've got back out there, once you've got back on that bike, and you've still got it, and it reignites, because now you haven't got the depression or the anxiety, the depression that stops you from leaving the house and made you leave football. You've maybe overcome that in your normal life, or you've got it under control a bit more, and now your passion can come back for the things that it stripped away, and we can add that back in through football. The anxiety of damaging your leg again, and what that, the worry that might have caused after an injury or after an operation. Test the water, get back out there at the rate that's suitable for you with Football Fitness Club as well. You don't have to do the whole drills. You just, step in and step out as it suits you. And that flexibility and that support from you lot as coaches as well, helping people like that, we've all seen. There's too many people to name of how many people have just got their spark back and have got their confidence back. So we want to start the Sunday League team this year. We had it on the cards for in the future, but so many people have got their spark back after just 1 or 2 games, and then they're up to full strength, getting up to full speed again. So we need to offer the next stage of that nurturing. Come in, never play football. Use the Saturday games to build up your confidence, and when you get it back, we've got something else we can pass you on to through that. If you want to learn about management, if you want to learn about coaching, if you want to learn about mental health ambassadors, anything like that, we'll nurture. We've all got our day jobs. We've all got huge experience with apprentices and things like that, and this is an opportunity that we didn't get in the old days of running a Saturday team over Melbourne or whatever. We didn't get the opportunity to use our day skills, our life skills that we've learned, and we can now do that, and we can see what that's doing to people. Right, Danny, is there a message there from Matt? Do you want to just take that one?
He's put, I definitely want to second what Skipper says. Being ultra competitive myself and being centre back, I get to see what's ahead of me, and the calmness on the ball and finding of space is great to watch. Yeah, I was going to say about what you mentioned about Football Fitness Club as well. There isn't that clickiness that you sometimes get with, not with football teams, but if you've got a football team that maybe that have been going for, say, 3 seasons, and then you've got, say, a team's folded, and then you've got 4 or 5 of that team want to join another team. There's always that clickiness at the start. There isn't that with mates. It's obviously you've got the guys that play together, like you've got Ben and you've got Reese and you've got Chris and Kingy and that, but there isn't that clickiness at all because everyone looks out for each other. And I think the beauty of that is because you've got FFC as well, so because you've got the Football Fitness Club guys doing it on a Thursday, there's people that have been to Football Fitness Club that will either play for mates, help out occasionally as well, or they'll, like Saturday, for example, so we've got the in-house thing. We all kind of know each other. I mean, I haven't been to Football Fitness Club, but you just get to know people from them flitting inside.
Sure, exactly. If you went over Football Fitness Club, right, and you see the experience there, Wishart, and you'll see so many people there that from local football historically, who are brilliant players, and they're in the situation now that they haven't got time to be in a full-time team because they've got families. They could go, the only real full-time ones they could get into would be like a vets team. But again, a lot of them are carrying injuries and they can't do a whole season or commit to a team like that. But we've got great experience there. It's a brilliant world that and this isn't, I ain't saying this boastfully at all. it's unexpected. We knew what we wanted to do when we started this, but seeing how things are gelling, seeing how things are working, seeing the positivity and the improvement in people's positive mental health, seeing what it's doing to people that had injuries and things like that, and seeing that calm, supportive nature. Don't get me wrong, we're not all like wearing tie-dye shirts and patting each other on the back and making daisy chains. It's not that. It's just nice people that want to. What's that?
Shall I wear something different this week then?
Yeah, just I think it was the fact that you just wore the daisy chain. That's the main concern this week.
Sorry, I kind of skirted on what Matt said, but Matt has made a good point there as well, because he said it gives those players, like, so it would give not so much Matt because he's experienced at playing, but players like Liam, it gives them that confidence to take a bit more time on the ball, and whereas there isn't that pressure of I've got to fit in here, I've got to perform, I've got to make this count, and then putting extra added pressure on yourself and making a mistake. There isn't,
and that's what I sort of see with you, for example. I see people getting into a new football club traditionally, right? Getting into a new football club, the clickiness there, and the support of that group that are in that clicky group, let's say, is brilliant if you're in it. But to get in it, if you listen to the Peter Crouch podcast, he gives multiple examples of where he's turned up at clubs and people just haven't even spoken to him. Professional footballers. So it's no different anywhere. But you've got something to prove, haven't you, then, to get into that? You want to be popular, but you also want to prove yourself. And yeah, that's going to give you a good push, but it's going to put a pressure on you, which for some people, pressure is a great thing to an extent to get that skill out of you and get the best out of you. But for others, it just breaks them. And what we've got here is a calm, supportive atmosphere and nature with experience like yourself, experience like Si and Matt. You've got loads of experience there on the pitch, pulling together and supporting the team to give themselves that their time to shine, build their confidence, to give them their own time to shine. Look at Billy when he got his first goal ever. That's transformed him. Hello, darling. What you got?
She's still got a black eye.
Yeah, that's a real turtle. It's a real turtle.
Black eye. Show us your black eye. No, come, camera.
Oh yeah.
Can't see it from there.
Now, she missed a penalty at the weekend, and that's.
You know what? I started laughing when you said the last comment. You went, "Take you for example." I thought you were going to say about making mistakes.
No, because I know nothing, so I don't know what a mistake is, do I? But no, you see what I mean? You've got a group of you, and you lot, you've got so much experience up your sleeve, and you're now using that instead of showing off yourself and being everyone's competitive against each other. You're using that to build others up and support them where they may not be as good at some things. You're there putting that extra little bit of effort in clearing up and stuff like that. Sorry, just as you just turned around there, do you want to explain why you disappeared a little earlier?
Well, my little one decided to take my phone, not realising I was actually on it, and run away with it, thinking that he wanted to use it before he went to bed, not realising that I was live. So that's why it went a little bit mad. So I do apologise.
What I quite like as well is that you're sitting there staring at your phone, and he just walked up and took it from in front of your face.
Well, it was because my iPad was next to it as well, and then I was and then he just ran off with it, and I was like, oh, brilliant. Thing is, I was trying to put myself on mute to try and stop myself from shouting at him to give it back, and then it was all going a bit pear-shaped. So I think he actually pressed it and it went off in the end, which was but that was why. Right. So I do apologize.
So there's a bit at the start where you kind of it's like you lifted your leg over the phone, And then it started going all over the place. Then there was the bottom of the furniture and bottom of the sofa. And until that thing went on the WhatsApp about what actually happened, I was visioning. I wish it was that happening. But I was visioning the Sia video chandelier.
Yeah.
You were holding your phone, doing that, spinning around.
Basically, what he did, he just rolled around the place. Right. So, Andy, back to you. Next thing on the agenda, we've got
so
about
the next thing on the agenda was about influences in the game. So, who has influenced you in, like your, even starting as a kid, or maybe a Sunday league manager, Saturday league manager, or another player that you played with? So, get your comments up, and we'll read them out. But who has been a big influence on you in the game? We'll start with Si because he's watching telly.
It's 1-0 at Real Madrid, Chelsea.
He's just watching his influence on TV.
You know what? I don't really know. There's professionals, I suppose, and then
Mr. Webster,
Andy Webster,
Andy Pitts.
Do you know who I used to really think? This was growing up in school. I don't know whether he was your age, Dan. Do you remember Stephen Parmenter?
Yeah.
I remember him at school and playing. I think I might have, I don't know, watched one of the school games and afterwards, and I was like, wow, that fella is, because he was the nuts at football, wasn't he? He was absolutely the nuts. And I just always remember he was left-footed, I was left-footed, and I always thought, cool, I'd like to kind of to be where he is. Not that he influenced, but he was one of them that I thought, he's a good player. And when you kind of want people to sort of think you're an half decent player, I suppose. So I think it was maybe that as a moment thinking, and I must have only been about 13, 14. But as for, I've played with so many different people across so many different teams. So it's a bit of a difficult one to pinpoint. But my favourite player, and I think he's the best player in the Premier League, or has been, is Gerrard. And he's kind of been a bit of an influencer for me because I just think he's absolutely superb. But yeah, that's about it from me.
Apart from Pearce and Rich, other managers.
Managers. John Dare was a good
Never
manager.
played for me, did you?
No, I always liked to play for decent managers, mate. That was the thing. I didn't. No, I think John Dare, we had a bit of a love relationship. And there was Lawrence Swan. I quite liked playing for Swanee when he managed me at Gallywood. Yeah, so I've got a few. I think John Dare was the one. He was quite hard to impress, John Dare. Nathan and James's dad.
Yeah.
And he was kind of, and it was quite nice to, I suppose, kind of win him over in the end. And we still have a bit of a laugh and a joke about it now whenever I see him walking his dog over the park or whatever. But he was a very good manager, but very hard to please. But it took me a few years to kind of win him over and get his trust, I suppose. But yeah, that's probably it from me. What about you, Dan?
As a kid, definitely Tony Buck, Ross and Spenny's dad. Tony Buck was massive influence to me. I wasn't very good when I didn't really get any good until, I'm not saying I'm brilliant now, but I didn't get any good until I got to adult football. But Tony was the one that basically gave me the most influence. I love playing for Tony. And then when I started adult football, I started playing for Clint Hilling's dad. You know Clint Hilling's dad, Tony Hilling? And there's one thing he said to me. One of the first things he ever said to me was, because I'd get the ball and I'd turn into a player. And he used to say, don't turn into a player. Always hold it up or turn away. And that stuck with me even now. Like when I get the ball, sometimes I think, don't turn into a player. Still do it occasionally, but don't do that. And then player-wise, and also Bob Barnard. Do you know Bob Barnard, Darren's dad?
No, I know Darren. I don't think I know his dad.
He was a coach under Tony Hilling, and then he was a manager as well. So he was another one where really, like you said, John Dare was hard to please. Bob was one of them ones you wanted to please. You just wanted to work hard to try and please him.
Yeah.
And then players, Darren Barnard was an influence on me because I used to lose my head quite often, and he used to quite calm me down. And you probably remember this at training.
Darren Barnard's arms wrapped around you is to have Darren Barnard's arms wrapped around you is a beautiful, calming experience.
His arms.
Yeah, not now. Pin you to the ground, knock you out. But
There's a
yeah,
big dog on top of you.
in the game when I was younger, yeah, he used to be he's younger than me, but he used to be a calming influence on me. But yeah, sorry, when we used to play at Waltham, so we had Lee Honeywood, who was originally Ipswich. He got injured, so he's a professional at Ipswich, but he got injured. But he's been one of the big names in local football. And when me and Si joined Waltham at the same time at Vets team, and me, Si, and Rich Bastian were the only players who hadn't played at really sort of decent standard compared to everyone else. And we thought it was gonna be really clicky, didn't we? And it weren't at all. They were really nice. But Lee Honeywood was he was like a kid at training. He'd score a goal at training and he'd go running off celebrating.
Yeah,
He was brilliant. He wasn't sort of he didn't show off or nothing. He was always sort of interested in how your week's been and what he'd always
just loved it, didn't he?
What I find interesting about what you've just said there, this is about anything. It could have been Gaza. It could have been anything at all. Yeah, you've just reeled off. The first lot of people you've reeled off are your mates' dads. Yeah, and that just shows growing up what an influence local football and the support of just, they're not professionals. They've learned, but they're doing what Andy's doing with a kids team, Si's doing with a kids team at the moment, and they're getting you into football, nurturing you and giving you that first sort of step in there and building you up to a certain level, aren't they? And they're just normal people that are people's dads.
Yeah. Yes, I don't
know necessarily that
way,
you sort of realise that that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
To those kids, and you've had feedback already, ain't you, Andy and Si, from like your kids' teams about how much they're enjoying things.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like, I mean, my team, I've had a few players sort of come and go, but I've sort of had them since I was sort of 7, and to see them sort of improve and get better as a team, and now next year they're going to be going to senior school, so it's like starting to get a bit real now, and it will start to get a bit more competitive, where at the minute obviously there's no leagues, there's none of that, so at the minute it's just about enjoying their football, and still competitive, they still want to win, but it's not, you're not judged on it. Almost no one knows what the leagues look like, so yeah, I mean it's great at the minute, but I think it's going to move forward now. But you can see them growing up with that. They're starting to think about that sort of stuff, and I have conversations with them about what they put into training now is what they're going to get out on a weekend. And yeah, no, it's great. It's just that's why I love doing the coaching and the managing, and it doesn't really matter about age. I think seeing anyone just get better and just is what makes it worthwhile, really.
But you could have the kids that you're dealing with at the moment, they'll have Messi on their wall, they'll have Ronaldo on their wall, but they're their heroes, but you're the one that's teaching them how to get to that, and that's a bit mad that that's how they sort of see you in that same, because you just said the same thing about Gerard, and you're saying these sort of names and your dad's mate, your mate's dads. Sorry, message there from Piers. Can you see that on yours? Might be someone you know. Okay, Danny, can you see Piers' message?
Yes, I can. Yeah. Shout out to I could hear my voice. I think someone else was saying it. Shout out to Terry Eaton, RIP. My first manager, Gallywood Eagles, under 8s to under 16s. Been lucky to have good managers, but LTL was the best.
Again, not triggered by anything else, just having, seeing how much that when you're a kid, that manager means to you, that coach, that person that's getting you in it and nurturing you through the first bit.
It's so funny how I can remember the very first time I played football, and everything about it is really vivid. It was on a playing field called King George's Field, which is in Rayleigh, and it's the big park there. And obviously, I lived in Rayleigh when I was a kid. And my mate's dad, actually, I just lost my mate, but his dad took us over there. And I can remember being in the back of his Escort estate when you used to be able to sit in the boot. And like literally, I remember going in the proper big changing rooms, and it's, they've got that smell of winter greens, and coming out, but like burning your nostrils. And then I ran out on pitch, and I had socks that neighbours had given me, like a kit, and it was massive. Like, you can't believe that now looking at me, but at the time I was really small, and like my socks just kept falling down. And then they went, you can't, where's your shin pads? And I was like, I haven't got shin pads. And I remember one of the dads getting his racing post and quickly going, come here. And he folded it up into shin pads and put them down my socks. So that when I ran out on the pitch, the referee thought that I had shin pads in. But we played on an 11-side pitch with the massive goals. And we were just standing there, and it was absolutely freezing, just running around, like just having so much fun. And just like, all the dads proper berating you from the sideline. And that was my sort of first experience, but I can remember every detail of that game. Like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, like you say, it's kind of weird how those sort of
I want to dress you up like that again. Like, I think you'd look lovely. Right, Andy, do you want to take that message from Matt Smith, and one of you take Liam's as well?
Yeah, so the biggest influence for Matt Smith was Matt Lockwood, my all-time hero in football. I know Matt Lockwood did his work experience at my school. He's a lovely guy. He went on to play for Leyton Orient, I think, after Southend. He went from I think he was part of that guy you were mentioning, Si, Palmer. I think he played with him at Southend. And one of my mates, and one of my mates, Carl Johnson, they all sort of played together at Southend Youth, I think. But Jimmy Hill, if you don't know what he did for football, then wiki him. Brought in proper wages for players and 3 points for a win, and many other innovations.
I only found that out fairly recently. He did quite a lot for football.
It's like, because he used to commentate as well, didn't he, Jimmy?
Yeah,
that's kind of how I sort of remember him. But yeah, he did lots for football.
He's pretty decent player as well.
3 points bit. It's unbelievable that it never used to work like that. And then Liam's put Tevez passion when West Ham stayed up in 2007. Took him 9 months to get going, but he never stopped fighting.
He's still playing, isn't he, Tevez? I'm sure he is.
Yeah, didn't he play for
somewhere in Brazil, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's Sao Paulo or someone, isn't it? Something like
that. Yeah. Pierce, can you answer? Is that Richard Eaton's dad, Terry Eaton?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Tevez plays for Boca
Juniors.
Yeah.
One other influence, I need to mention him, otherwise I'll never forgive myself. Jimmy Deans. We used to play Badder King's Head, and James Deans, John Deans, all the Deans family. Their dad, who used to play professionally in Scotland, he used to watch every single game we played. I'm talking 2009, 2010. So we were only talking like 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and he come to every single game, home and away, whether it was pouring, snowing, anything. He absolutely loved it. He even tried to, I think I might have got this wrong, but he tried to save a penalty. I'm sure he was standing behind a goal when the other team had a penalty, and he was hanging around on the goalpost. He was trying to get in to save a penalty during the game. He's a legend. He's got dementia right now, so he's struggling a little bit. But yeah, he's a proper legend. So I had to give him a mention. Yeah, Pierce has confirmed, like what you said, tonight, is Rich Eaton's dad.
Yeah, sadly, he passed away. I forget how many years now, maybe 10, 15
Oh, really?
Years. Yeah. Lovely fella.
Was he still in football when he died?
I don't believe. No, I believe once the Pierce's lot, they finished once they went into adult football, I think he stopped. I think he was done. I think he led them all the way up to under 17s maybe, and then when it kind of branches out into adult football, I think he kind of stopped. He stopped it at a high, I suppose. He didn't want to continue, and I suppose age and people go off to different things, do other things, start drinking or to the pub and all that sort of stuff. So I think he just, I think he gave up at his highest level he possibly could.
I bet there's a few people watching that have got Terry Hill as an influencer.
Oh God, yeah! What a man! What a man!
Proper.
He was brilliant. Ah, when you mention the word legend, you can put Terry Hill in that all day long.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we've then we normally have the goals now, but we're overrunning a little bit, so we won't do that. If we just trail what we've got coming up this week, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So what we've got coming up this week, over to you, Andy.
This week we've got we're playing Football Fitness Club, so it's almost like an in-house competition. So it'll be really, really good. So 11-a-side game. So it'll be us versus a Football Fitness 11. So yeah, it should be a really, really good. Like Danny said, a lot of the guys know each other, so it will definitely be fun with a little bit of competitive edge on it, bragging rights if you like. So I think
we'll be playing against Chris Bignell, won't we? Will he be playing for the other team?
Oh yeah.
Can we not nick him?
Oh, he'd be with you guys. He'd be with mates, wouldn't he?
Really? Are you playing for? Who are you playing for? FFC.
I'm not. I'm playing. I've got a game on Saturday.
We don't know. I don't know who's playing for FFC at the moment. So yeah, we've got 50 people playing for us. We've got 8,000 people playing for us. That's why I've got loads of test kits.
I think at the minute we've got some guy, Gaza. Never not heard of him. Yeah, we've got quite a few players that are interested. So obviously we won't do the team sheet until 10 minutes before the game. But
yeah, don't let secrets. Yeah,
hush, hush.
No secrets out.
In that case, we'll get extra small shirts because I won't know what kit to give.
You can play then, Dave. You can show us some of your Swindon skills.
Yeah, you should play, Dave.
You only played one game at Wembley, and that was it.
No, I started my career with yourself and Sty at 25th Christchurch.
Yeah.
And then due to other commitments, I had to stop.
Dave, I know you said we're not going to cover off the goals bit, but I just had to mention that I've uploaded a video that everyone should watch. Some
propaganda.
Couple of great goals in there. One was mediocre, but the other two are blinding. So have a look at them. Yeah, so Saturday should be good. Don't turn up on Sunday because we won't be there. So definitely Saturday.
And Thursday night we've got the normal, which is 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock Football Fitness Club. If you go on their Instagram or the Facebook page, if you're interested in coming along, seeing what it's all about. There's a couple of videos on the Mates FC Facebook page that we've done live as well from Football Fitness Club, so you can have a look around and see what we actually do there. I just wander around and pick balls up and litter collection, but like basically a womble. And then 9 till 10 we've got Mates FC football training, which again, like Football Fitness Club, is fitness with a ball at your feet, and it's a few drills and a little bit of a kickabout. If you go onto the Mates FC Facebook page, and you will see under events, you will see it on there. Put your name down on there if you're interested in coming. If you've got any questions, message any of us or message the actual group like straight off, and as in Facebook page or Instagram, and one of us get back to you or put comments onto this.
I think Matt Smith's got a question. He's put his hand up, I think, on the.
I think he's put his hand up multiple times, but he's only got one finger in his hand, apparently.
Oh dear. Well, I don't know how the results went tonight. I'll have to have a look and see. Southend might be already relegated. So
I was watching. Are you watching the Real Madrid Chelsea game?
Yeah, still 1-1. Yeah, 70 minutes. Well, 68 minutes in. No, not really. No, it's all right. Not great. Pretty fair, to be fair.
Right, coming up over the next few weeks, if you want to come on this podcast, or if you're playing for us and want to just talk about your experience, or if you played for us and you want to come on and just talk about the last game you've had, whatever. If there's anything you want to see from us, any subjects you want covered on here, whatever it is, let us know. We're basically like loose women. Some are looser than the other. Danny Warner. And right, that's all I've got to say on the matter. So thanks for watching. Anything from you boys?
No, nothing from me.
No,
Thanks everyone for watching.
Enjoy your week.
Lovely. And keep loose to avoid groin strain. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Great advice.